travelers, it's Nikki Gold. So I'm not wearing this mask today for a political statement. I just wanted to start that out. This actually has nothing, I mean, it does have something to do with the virus, but not really. So whether you believe in it or not, which I have a hard time knowing that I have to say that, whether you believe in it or not is not the question of this video. The question of this video is for people who have anxiety, who have panic disorder, who have had trauma related to someone having a hand over the mouth, claustrophobia, whatever the case may be, people who are having something go on inside when this comes over our face. And the reason I want to talk about this is because, as you know from videos before, I have severe anxiety. I also have been one of these people who have had trauma with someone holding their hand over my mouth and blocking me so I couldn't scream. So I've had those moments. So this is definitely not something that's easy and comfortable, and something I had to work on. Now, I've heard other people talk about it who are highly sensitive, who are empaths, that sort of stuff. I also teach a yoga class, and sometimes the center that people will go to take it, it's an activity or senior center here in town. Some people will properly social distance and have their mask on and take the class there. And then other people have the Zoom link and they can take it from their home. So half my class has masks on, the other half doesn't. So the people who have masks on, I cue by breath. Like, inhale, do this, exhale, do that. And then hold this for 3 to 5 breaths. And then when we do final relaxation, I focus a lot on the breath, although I got around it for a little while with letting the belly rise and fall. Now, here's the thing. So if you suffer from anxiety or panic attacks, or, you know, this brings back bad memories, because like when I have to, like, if I'm in a car with the heater on too intensely, because I've had some issues, and everything's based on, you know, sometimes trauma. If you've had something bad happen to you in a car and the heater vent was right in your face, you might have an issue with certain things. So between my class, because I wanted to figure out what can I do, how can I cue in a way, what can I do? So we had gone for a nice long walk and stuff, and I wore my mask the whole entire time because I wanted to know what it was like to move and wear a mask. And I know I have anxiety, and I know this is right up my alley for setting off, you know, panic. It's very different walking through the aisle of Rite Aid to get a hair color than it is to do a yoga class or work all day in a mask. And I totally get that. And so the very first thing I would say to somebody is, if you're worried about having anxiety or panic attack, wearing a mask, there are things that you can put under a mask. There's these things that can kind of push the mask out a little bit and keep it safe on your face. And that way you don't feel like, sometimes for me, the part that's hard is that inhale, and especially if you're like panicky inhale, it kind of feels like it's sucking into your face. So it's not a really comfortable feeling. So that's one way you can make it easier. The other thing is, you know, this is going to sound silly and obvious, but get something you like. You know, there's different kinds of textures, there's different kind of fabrics, ear positioning, if it's too tight, if it's not right. If I have a pink mask that's totally cute, but every time I open and close my mouth too wide, you know, and I have to keep going, and that's not helpful. But the first thing I would say to do is, before you put your mask on, is to ground. So you could be inside, outside, bare feet if you want. You can imagine putting roots down to the earth. Now, if you really think about this, when we were in utero, we had an umbilical cord that attached to our mother, and everything we needed came from our mother. So I want you to think about Earth that way. You can even think about roots, or you can even think about an umbilical cord coming from your belly button so you feel grounded, because usually with anxiety, grounding is key. Usually the second is breath, but if the breath is what's causing you anxiety, which I get because it's hot as you're breathing out and all that kind of stuff, and I don't wear glasses, so I don't even have that aspect to worry about. But anyway, so a ground first. And what I would also suggest is, if you're having to go into a new situation and you've never done it before, or you have to wear your mask longer than a couple minutes while you just run and do this, and you feeling like you might feel a little panicky, practice beforehand. Practice walking around your backyard with your mask on. Practice walking around a house with your mask on, so you can feel. Because what I want you to start thinking about doing is breathing through different parts of your body. Now, truth be told, we really can't necessarily breathe in through different parts of our body, but there are yogis who have trained themselves to be able to not breathe at all. They've buried some of these guys. And I've mentioned before, yoga, of course, these people who can do these special, super awesome things that you hear, that's all they do. They just focus on abstaining from breath, abstaining from this, you know, and work on their things. But the thing that I want you to do is use your creativity. This is why kids are joyful, is generally, unless they had really crappy upbringing, kids are very imaginative and, you know, find a game, anything. So I've learned when panic and anxiety attacks, being more lighthearted is better. Or either being lighthearted or being totally nurturing and sweet. It works the best for me. So you can imagine breathing in and out through your solar plexus, breathing in and out through your heart. You can breathe in and out through your throat. When I have my students sitting on the ground, I always have them find their sit bones. And I said, breathe in and out through your sit bones, or breathe in and out through the crown of your head, or your third eye, whatever works for you. So just, you can even breathe out the fingertips, because we have all sorts of little chakras all over our body. So, you know, you can imagine breathing out different parts. Now, the thing with anxiety is, if you have anxiety, having a big, gigantic tool bag is key, because anxiety, you can, for years and years, use this method to stop it, and then all of a sudden, it won't work, you know, or it could go months or whatever, and it doesn't work, and we grow out of it. I mean, there's times when you grow out of the anxiety, but sometimes the secret is that nobody tells you. Sometimes you can find it someplace else, and so it's learning from it. So whatever you can do to comfort yourself and find ways, try different things. Like I said, if you're walking, you can imagine, if you're lucky enough to be able to take your shoes off and like walk in the sand, imagine breathing through the soles of your feet. You know, and if you aren't bothered by having shoes on, you can breathe through the soles of your feet as you walk. I mean, people do meditations, walking meditations, so this would make it super awesome. So, you know, again, I feel for everybody, this is a difficult time. This is very difficult. And like I said, I'm doing this whole video with my mask on. I thought, well, maybe I'll take it on and off so, you know, YouTube can find a picture that doesn't have me masked. So, however, I wanted to be respectful. I want you to know that if you suffer from anxiety, you're not alone. And if, for instance, masks aren't the things that make you anxious, you know, if there's something that you want to talk about that makes you anxious, leave a comment in the box down below and let me know, because I would love to come up, share, you know, discuss ideas with people, because when you have anxiety, first of all, having someone not look at you like what's wrong with you is golden, is key. And then second of all, you know, just being able to go, I'm not alone, you know, is really important. So again, if you're feeling anxiety and you're feeling really stressed out, you want to do the right thing, you want to wear a mask, but at the same time, you're like, I'm really freaked out, you know, I get it. I feel you. And with a little practice, with proper love and care, you've got this. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in today. Peace, love, namaste.